Welcome to part 15 of this video series on styles of comic book coloring. My name is Mike. If you haven't been following along, we've got this giant image of the Avengers, and we're coloring each one in a different style. Today isn't so much about a specific style as it is a concept, which is minimalism and not doing too much. I've approached a lot of these characters, or most of these characters, as if they were interior art. Because the style in interior art is where you need to be consistent. On a cover, you can have a crazy collaged, watercolored puzzle picture, and the interior art can look completely different. So there's no... Interior art is all about selling, or exterior art, covers, are about selling and drawing attention and being... storytelling, it's more marketing than it is storytelling. And you try not to give, you're trying to be intriguing without giving away too much of the story. And sure, there's a separate art to covers, but when you think about comic book style, you're thinking the interior. And sometimes you just have to not do too much. And with Iceman here, it's just a quick 10-minute little playtime because he's in the background. Now, I do want to talk about the line art and how that's colored. When you do a color hold, my rule, and this doesn't always work, but I like to think of it in planes. So you have, say you have the foreground, and that's where your attention is. So that's where your line art is black. And then in the background, you may color it a little bit, but if it's a separate plane, like Iceman here, who's set off in the distance, I take whatever color it is that I want to make the line art, and in this case blue, and I go halfway to white. Now, I've talked about the rule going halfway to black is a good test for shadow. When I'm doing shadow, even if you're shifting hue, you just, whatever value you're at, you go halfway to black. And so for line art, when I set things off in the distance, the opposite is true. I go halfway to white for the first level, and if there's another level, like there is the smoke behind there, I take it back one more. Now, if I was more familiar with Manga Studio, and I've been using it to do this image for about a month and a half now, and I had maybe colored 4 or 5 things ahead of time. I haven't spent a good deal of time organizing my brushes, so you're going to see me, I still don't know what all of them do, and I'm still downloading, and I'm still trying to make that master set where I feel like I can do anything. So I waste a lot of time. You could have knocked this out, this very rudimentary rendering, in like 5 minutes, had I known what my tools do. So that's important. Organize your stuff and don't be like me. I don't know what else to say. There's some texture brushing. I use a G pen at some point to draw. I know not all colorists are comfortable doing that, but I think it's something you need to be able to draw. It'll really help you if you can draw just a little bit. I put a little bit of really dark purple blue, dark purple blue gray, and pink in Iceman. Those are his colors. I don't like that super bright, like washed out, just blue, light blue, kind of singular tone look to him. So I gave him a little bit of texture. I made a frost brush at some point just for this because I wanted to see. I have kind of a cool frost brush in Photoshop, and I wanted to see if I could make a similar one. And I really liked how it looked, but I clicked around for like 30 seconds and I couldn't find it. And since this was quote unquote minimalism, I thought if the video was more than 10 minutes, it wasn't going to seem very genuine. So that's where we ended up on that. When the video was over, I didn't zoom out and see that the light parts of this blue thing weren't light enough. So I went back and changed those. But yeah, there's no blending here. And this is just super rudimentary stuff. It's kind of messy, and it doesn't matter because when you zoom out, you can't see any of it. And here I'm throwing in the pink. And I'm doing it with, what kind of brush am I doing it with? Oh, just a square, rough texture brush. I'm not messing with opacity. I'm not trying to get layers or anything, This doesn't have to look perfect. Because if the detail is going to be lost when you zoom out, why should it be there to begin with? And if the detail is go, and then the worst thing that can happen is that the detail just ends up blurring what you're going for. I mean, when we zoom out on this, we know that it's Iceman. So that's good. It's Iceman, and it's not the Silver Surfer. It's not. See, I mean, it looks like him. You kind of got his form and his shapes and it looks. You can tell it's a guy. It's not rendered wonky, but it's just a couple straight line swipes with gray, light blue, and pink. So don't do more than is needed is, I guess, the moral of the story. When time is a factor. And time is always a factor with comics. I mean, think about it. To tell a compelling, complete comic story, like, you can't do it in an issue. You could tell kind of a neat little folktale type thing in an issue. Maybe there's a little moral, something archetypal, a grim fairy tale or something. But if you really want to tell a great story, you can do it in 4 issues, certainly. 6 is better, less common. And then you have, of course, you can really tell an epic in 12, or I think Watchmen was 12. Some of the big omnibus editions of huge epochs of Batman or X-Men or whatever are 18, 12, 24 issues. I really didn't put work. I mean, look at those. The clouds went up in what, a minute and a half, something like that. Just a cloud brush and then a smudge tool and then a grungy brush. I don't know what I'm doing here, but we're getting to the end of this. You'll see, you get a better look at how Iceman fits into the whole picture of this crazy array when I zoom out. And when we finish this, we finish this up, we're going to do finishing layers and color adjustments in 19, and then in 20 we're going to paint a background, and then we're going to be done. So we've got Captain America, Ultron, and Thor left. So like, subscribe if you want to receive those videos, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.